welcome to Ekate's Crossing. Okay, so I've been sort of mucking around this morning, did a couple of bits and pieces and pulled out my Primordial Tarot. Now, I know this deck is not traditional tarot suits, titles, there's a lot of differences, but I absolutely love working with this deck. It's got a real raw energy to it. There's so many ways that you could use this deck. I mean, you can compare it to maybe if you wanted to use Rider-Waite-Smith meanings to the cards, go ahead. You can use your own intuition. You can use the guidebook in the way that it uses the cards. I mean, I think it's really so personal. You can decide how you want to use this deck, and it's quite an advanced deck, so it's going to take some real study if you want to go into more advanced reading, which I thought was quite interesting. So I've worked with this deck for quite a while, and I've used it in different ways and absolutely love it. Now, it got me thinking, in other decks that require a bit of study, and one of the or some of the decks that I let me just put that away, the Primordial Tarot, just for a minute. I do want to pull it out again, but I just want to put this away so I'm not dropping cards all over the place, which I end up doing living in a small space. Okay, the other thing I got thinking about was the Insight Tarot decks. Now, a lot of them are to do with movies or TV series. You know, a lot of the movies, TV series. There's a few more, of course, in this set, but I've only got a few here. I've got 6. Is that right? Yeah. So 6 decks I've got here. Now, a lot of them are movie orientated, so you've got to know the TV series, you've got to know the movie, to know a little bit about the characters of the cards, because they're not always traditional Rider-Waite-Smith imagery. So it does take a little bit of work to get to know the deck, and that's okay, but I definitely wouldn't call them beginner decks. Maybe if you've read tarot for a little while, you're remembering that some of the minor arcana are pips. So they do have the pip decks. So you sort of got to know tarot a little bit before you sort of start diving into them. They also changed the titles, the suits. Might be different names for the suits. So again, you're diving into them a little bit more. I'm not going to go into all the cards. If you want to see some of the cards, you can see my unboxings. So we've got Supernatural, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Hocus Pocus. Let me just put these away as I do that, because you can have a look at the cards if you want me to dive into the decks a little bit more. I have done some Supernatural diving into the decks. Diving into it. If you want me to dive into a particular deck, I can do, to show you how I read, and then you can find out what works for you, so with some suggestions and ideas. So these are decks that you've got to sort of know a little bit. They're not beginner decks. The decks that require a little bit of study, a little bit of sort of getting to know, which I think is really important. Okay, another deck, I think, any sort of pip decks that change the titles. Now, there are other steampunk tarot decks, but this one in particular, this is the, here. Okay, now, again, we're changing the suit cards, and they're more pips than imagery. Let me just grab. They're a little bit, again, you've got to sort of dive into the, like 10 of bees is 10 of swords. So again, you've got those pip decks, which get you to really sort of think about not the tradition. Look at the Judgment. You sort of got to think about the tarot meanings. Again, you got to sort of dive into it a little bit further. So you've got beetles as being pentacles. You've got moths as wands. Bees as swords, as I said. And then you got dragonflies as cups. So again, quite different. And so again, I do think it's more of an, you know, if you've been reading tarot for a little while, I would definitely recommend, if you want to sort of get into something a little different, Victorian energy. I love it. Absolutely love it. It's one of my favourites. I've got this thing about pip decks. Love them, love them, love them. Okay, so let me just put that away. Again, let me just put it away. I mean, there's loads and loads. These are just the suggestions of some of the decks that might require a little bit of further study. If you want to dive into something a little different, if you really want to sort of explore other avenues. Another deck, Elemental Power Tarot. Now, the Major Arcana. Let me just pull out some Major Arcana for you to have a look at. Now I can't even find any Major Arcana. I'm sort of pulling out all the minors here. Let me just pull out the Tower card, as you can see. So you can see that these are there's no people in them. So that's the thing you've got to look at here in regards to the Major Arcana. Now, you've got water. Remember, you're working with the elements. You've got fire, water, fire. Earth. And air, right? So you've got the 4 elements. Now let's have a look at the court cards. So here you've got the Knight, right? So you've got, but he's Knight of Cups. So he's water and with fire, or water and fire, fire and water. Okay. Here you've got the Queen of Swords, so she's the air in water. Now you've got King of Swords, he's air and air. So you can sort of see, this is going to make you do a little bit of a thought, you know, a little bit of a thinking about it. You're connecting with the elements. That's the Ace of Swords. Now, is that the King of Swords I had before? It was the Queen of Swords, right? Queen of Swords. Knight of Swords. Sorry, King of Swords, Queen of Swords. There's your Knight of Swords, which is your air and fire, or fire and air. Here's Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles. So you've got your earthy queen and with the water. So this one here is definitely makes you think. You have to do a little bit of thinking when you're thinking about the elements, the connections, how things are flowing. So here's your Queen of Water. So it's water and water. So she's very emotional. So here's your page of water. So this is your water for your page, but he's an earthy page, because pages are earth. So yeah, it really makes you think. So here's your page and pentacles. So page and earth and earth. So yeah, just to give you an idea. Of course, we're not really looking at pentacles. It's supposed to be earthy. So yeah, I love this deck, but it does make you think. Again, it's not traditional Rider-Waite-Smith imagery, so it does make you take a minute to breathe. There's so many amazing decks out there, and some can really get you to really sort of expand your knowledge. And I love that. I love that. There's so much learning to do in regards to learning tarot. So elemental power tarot. So if you really want to expand your knowledge, these are some of the decks that you can explore. There's others. Believe me, there's others. There's loads and loads of others. Okay, some of the erotic tarot, sexual tarot, all that sort of thing as well. Again, you're not going to be right away. I'm not going to pull out all the imagery. So again, you can go into the unboxing, or into, if you're on my Ko-Fi, you can see the messages that I have done with that as well. Yeah, I have put some on YouTube. I have explored, have opened them up. Of course, they are 18. But yeah, the erotic tarot, again, you're diving into decks which explore other avenues, if you like. I'm going to share all that. Now, the other one, of course, is Travis McHenry. His decks always, the Angel Tarot and the Occult Tarot, and he's got a couple of other decks as well. They, again, get you to really sort of think about things in a different way. One good thing about his decks is that he does put, there are keywords and things on them, but I definitely wouldn't call them, they're not traditional tarot in any way, shape or form. So again, it's going to get you to think about the images. Now, the other thing is when you get the, like, I haven't got the Bonfire Tarot, but I have got the Starman Tarot. Oops, with David. Okay, with David Bowie. So again, it's a very busy imagery. Quite different. Again, it's going to get you to sort of think about tarot in maybe a new light with the images, some of the titles. I just think they just give you a fresh aspect in regards to tarot, and using your intuition or using your ability to look at the images and create a story allows you to look at tarot in a new light. So yeah, I think that's a great way to sort of look at the tarot, the Starman Tarot. Now, this is a little indie deck which you can find on Game Crafter, which I absolutely love. Now, I've wanted this deck for so long, and I finally got round to getting it. Now, there's different sizes and things like that. This is just the pocket size. Is the Pearls of Wisdom. And I love this deck. It has so much in the imagery. But again, it's not traditional Rider-Waite-Smith image. But it does give you it does a little bit. There is a little bit of Rider-Waite-Smith imagery. But it's so created with so much story in each card. It just gives you a moment to sort of reflect when you've got time to look at the cards. Again, it's not something that's going to be easy to begin with. It's something that's going to take a little bit of study, a little bit of work, but beautiful, beautiful, beautiful deck. So yeah, just to give you an example of some decks that I think take a bit of study, a bit of work to get to know. you're not going to read them maybe straight out of the box. They're going to take a moment to sort of, unless you're an advanced reader and you've been reading tarot for a while, and then it's just like, yep. But I just want to suggest some decks that I don't see a lot of, or I haven't seen a lot, maybe for a while. I just wanted to share some decks. Okay, oh, I nearly forgot. The one thing is like a Tarot de Marseille style. This is a Visconti Sforza. I love this. But again, with the pips, any sort of pip deck. And now there's some amazing Marseille styled decks that really sort of get you to have to sort of understand tarot maybe in a new light. Maybe work with tarot with the numerology and the suits, but they're not traditionally Rider-Waite-Smith meanings or anything like that. They sort of make you think for a minute as you go through. I love this Visconti Sforza. Now I've got the Ancient Italian, I've got the Spanish Tarot, a couple of Tarot de Marseille. Oh, there is a Tarot del Tango, which is the, which is an Argentinian deck actually. Let me just grab it. Oops, let me see. Where is it? Where are you, Tarot del Tango? There it is. Okay, this is another one, which is an indie deck. It comes with a cute little book. But again, it's not traditional. You get a lot of these decks that are created from artwork. So again, it takes a little bit of study to get to know. And again, these are quite different because you've got the lamps. The chalices are okay. For the swords. And then for, this is quite interesting, for the wands. Okay, so you got your pentacles, the lamps with pentacles, the sword, the cups, the chalices for the cups, these for the swords, and that for the wands. So yeah, quite different. And then of course you've got Sotar. Let me have a look. Sotar. So we've got Sotar, we've got Cambalera, and we do have Ray, but we also have, where is she? Oh, the Reina. So here you've got the Soto, which is like the page, Caballero, which is the knight, Reina, which is the queen, and Rey, which is the king. So it just gives you an idea. See, this is La Casa Dios, the tower. Here's the Wheel of Fortune, the world. So again, it's going to take a little bit to really sort of, the priest, El Papa. So it really takes a minute to sort of get to know the deck. Emperor. Yeah, so I love them. I love it. But man, it really makes you think. See, here's your Three of Pentacles, your skills, your abilities, the sense of, for me, it's about trials and tribulations, expansion and growth in regards to your well-being, your wealth, finances, material aspects, things like that. See, there's your page. Your page of page of lamps, page of pentacles, if you like. You're learning and discovering. There's the moon. So it really makes you think. It's one of those decks that really... Well, there's your strength card. You really have to sort of dive into it a local. The Fool. Oh, here's your Hanged Man. The Sun. Oh, here's your card with no name. Just 13. Or Death. Okay, card with no name. Here's your Justice. So, yeah, like I say, this is one of those decks that sort of takes a moment to sort of dive into. This was an independent deck. Was a Kickstarter. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. I must explore to see if it's still available. If it is, I'll put the link down below. But yeah, absolutely Tarot del Tango. So it's all about the tango, all about the dance, Argentinian. Absolutely love it. But yeah, it did take a little while to sort of get to know the symbols, the colours, etc. So yeah, I think that sort of explored it a little bit. A few decks that are a bit different, that really get you to sort of dive into. Now you can do that with any deck, of course. All decks ask you to sort of, you know, spend some time with them, dive into them. But if you've been reading tarot for a little while, some of these decks are going to be a little bit easier to read than others. I mean, this was just a sort of a little bit of a pick a mix, if you like, a pick a mix decks that I felt I wanted to share. Anyway, that's it from me. Take care and blessed be. Don't forget to check the links down below. Check the links on my channel. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you know when the next video will be uploaded. Take care. Bye.